in the red. The market cap is down to 298,508, and really looking at this, we're seeing pretty much the exact same steep decline reflected across all the cryptocurrencies, irregardless of what these technologies are doing individually. Clearly we've been hit with something, but of course interesting to see the ones that are doing it good right now. I mean, let's take a look. Funny, very funny to see. Some reason this is up 10%. Interesting, very interesting. Congratulations to everybody who had the foresight to see this coming. Of course, we have talked about this before on the channel, the possibility that we haven't quite made it out of the woods yet in regards to the market crash that we were witnessing and we continue to see as it moves forward. And this is why it's important to do your research when it comes. I mean, this is just last time I had coin market cap up on this tab. It was at 332. I mean, that was probably earlier, 24 hours ago or so. And now look at that, 298. It's seriously gone down a full bill in that small period of time since we started this live stream. Crazy, very crazy. But of course, I just want to say, thank you to everybody who had the common courtesy to be shook and think that this is the end of cryptocurrency, because everybody who's just dropping their bags at the first sign of trouble, well, I guess they're driving the prices down. And yeah, it's a summer sale as far as I'm concerned, because this isn't my first rodeo. I understand how cryptocurrency is a very volatile space, and I think that it's funny to see people who are just now getting involved in it, and they think that they're gonna Lambo overnight. This is why we say it's important to do your own research when it comes to this space. But of course, I think that the volatility of cryptocurrency is really overblown by the media. They really love to hop on board whenever we're seeing a ton of red, and it makes sense because people are interested when things are doing good, but they always seem to be interested when things are doing bad as well. So yeah, a lot of I mean, it is interesting why these things are down, and I mean, yeah, I'm not worried myself either. I mean, when I talk about when I look at technologies like Litecoin, I mean, my personal opinion, I mean, Litecoin is down to $108. It's getting hit pretty hard. Not as bad. I mean, there's some things are getting hit. I mean, all across the board. But I mean, look at this. Crypto. I mean, this is getting down 25. I mean, these are the worst of the worst out of the bloodbath that we're currently witnessing. Electronium taking kind of a hit as well there too. And it's going to be pretty, I mean, I'm sure there's some sad people out there because it's oftentimes when we see these things happening, because first of all, you have to take into consideration the fact that these numbers that we see here, they're an indication of what's happening on a global scale. So you can't really knock any one particular cryptocurrency wholeheartedly. You kind of have to give each one their due diligence and their day, because I mean, obviously the privacy coin Dash is up there with the ones that are surviving. Monacoin, interesting to see that up here as well. I mean, Litecoin didn't get hit as well comparatively altogether, and then of course Bitcoin down here. But of course the things that happen in regards to this space are really going to have a huge impact on Bitcoin, because it's pretty reciprocal. Bitcoin has an effect on the totality of cryptocurrency and vice versa. So it is interesting course, I mean, of course, these privacy technologies are always have sort of a purpose, a real utility factor to them. So it is interesting to see how these things have been developing and moving forward. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you see Wall Street Journal trying to hop on board. Bitcoin falls sharply after another cryptocurrency exchange is hacked. I mean, this is the nature of the beast when it comes to cryptocurrency. It's sort of exchanges get hacked all the time, and but of course people recognize the leverage of these technologies, and it's just something that we have to deal with as we move forward, and as the paradigm is shifting, and of course moving into this next generation, you know, this new space and so forth. So that's why you don't keep your cryptos on exchanges, for one. Remember that. Even if you think like you're supposed to be keeping your stuff on Coinbase, don't do it, because these, you know, your cryptos are safe on an exchange until they're not. And the last thing that you want to do is try and go through the exchanges to try and figure things out, because it's such a headache trying to deal with those, and it's because they're so big. They don't really care about you, and even if you lose a full Bitcoin, like, it hurts you, but it really, they don't care. So that's one of the things that you just have to take into consideration in this space. Yeah, I mean, as far as I mean, this comment right here, you're talking about how this video is you know, clickbait or whatever. Well, you know, my response to that is I can make the title of my video whatever I want. And I mean, thanks for your feedback. I appreciate the comment. And I mean, whatever. And you know, obviously, I encourage everybody to give your opinions, whether or not I agree with you. But there is actually a purpose behind the title, and it's actually satire. I think that it's important to really parody the other YouTubers out there who basically have these like clickbait fear titles. I mean, look at it. The Wall Street Journal is clickbaiting. It's really the state of affairs in news right now, and that's sort of a big marker of the paradigm shift that we're witnessing happening in regards to the public consciousness, and how the public at large is beginning to really recognize, and of course keep calling it out. I mean, it's fine, whatever you and obviously I encourage all conversations, and I'm not going to delete any comments. I'm not going to ban anybody. You know, and it's fine. That's the you know, the whole purpose of this channel is for everybody to share their opinions and so forth. And obviously, remember, this is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. And I think it's important to provide a platform where everybody can hear you know, what needs to be heard, and that's why we recommend that you guys go and follow our official Twitter if you guys are interested in connecting with the show. And you know, of course, you guys know me. You know, I'm not your dad, but always interested in hearing what you guys have to say. So the link's in the description to that. But yeah, I mean, just going through the list on here, I think that it's really important to take into consideration what these technologies are actually doing in the real world, that's going to be having a fundamental impact on the way that things are going to be advancing as we move forward. And like I was saying earlier, I mean, when I think about Litecoin and these technologies, it's like, who's actually going to be buying a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts using a Litecoin? Right now we have the United States dollar, the euro, the yen. These are the dominant forces in that sort of space. The cryptocurrencies that I'm really interested in paying attention to are the ones that are leveraging an actual advancement in a certain realm and technology, which is why I'm interested in the Internet of Things. But of course, I have to say smart contracts are something that's very very exciting. And of course, I find it important to look at these technologies from a data perspective. I think that it's important to really just stay educated, because when we get hits like these, it's inevitable. There's going to be days where everything's in the green and people are celebrating, and there's news articles clickbaiting about how it's, you know, everybody's Lamboing and all this crap, and then there's going to be days the direct opposite to that. So it's really that's the whole point of cryptocurrency is you know, as far as I'm concerned, I like to see how these technologies are advancing, and the potential that's in store for the advancement of the greater variables of society. But of course, it's not fun to watch the market cap drop down below 300, and of course, taking into consideration the various different resistance levels, and of course Bitcoin dominance, where it currently stands. And this leads me to my other point, essentially the thesis of this video, and it's the fact that we saw a really big rise in the popularity of Bitcoin, and of course from like 2016 to 2018, we completely and totally saw an entire overhaul of the cryptocurrency space, and along with it, the public's perception of these things has been developing to a large extent in the same regard. So it's important to take into consideration the fact that in the long term, we could be seeing some really big shakeups when it comes to the top 100 cryptocurrencies. And I'm not entirely going to make this prediction, but I would like to just put it out there, and that's it's a valid point that Bitcoin might not be number one very much longer. Now, when I say that, I'm talking about a 3-year time span. You have to take into consideration the actual real bottom line differences between these technologies, and at the same time there's some fundamental similarities which give technologies that are really leveraging the current trends and so forth and an upper hand, as they're still in an early developmental stage. So all these things coming together at a certain at this specific time, and you know, we'll be seeing it's interesting to be paying attention to how these things have been developing and so forth. But this is why we recommend that you guys, obviously everybody should do their research and so forth. And you know, all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.